Finally, New York State passes a bill for police reform. Stay tuned for more. What up, world? We're back with another installment of your favorite news, Do-Rag News. I'm your host, Rich Friedman, and you know damn well we got the scoop for you. This is what they talking about in the streets. It's been 2 weeks now since the first protest for the death of George Floyd against police brutality, and I must say that a good amount of progress has been made. First off, it started with the arrest of the police officers involved in George Floyd's death. Second, multiple bills against police reform have been announced. Talks of police budgeting has been reduced, police being suspended and fired for video of police brutality against unarmed black men, and there are more. I say that there are 4 things that happened just to show that there is great change taking place and we are living in it. This is what the people want. This is the main topic of conversation, police brutality. It always been on the mind of black people, but now the rest of the world can no longer ignore the harsh reality. If police brutality had to be the spark of conversation, then so be it. We will face systematic racism in other aspects as well. Think in the workforce, education, healthcare, housing, and more. We're going to make this police brutality a snowball effect to speak about all the other aspects that I just mentioned. So keep protesting, keep bringing awareness to the problems that we face. Make noise because we see it's making change. And now we check in with Dick Johnson as he gives us his thoughts on the world. Dick, what the hell is going on, man?
Yo, what's good, everybody? Dick Johnson back here once again with another segment of Dick Thoughts. I'm feeling good. I'm breathing in some good air, so I believe I can articulate myself a little clearly today. Let's get into it. I had to take a break from social media because it seems like everybody is woke now, which is a very good thing. But all these new posts day in and day out about some new injustice, well, quite frankly, it's making me tired. I guess unwoke. But I guess this is the change that everybody was asking for, right? Where do I start? Do I start in December when Trump got impeached? You know, for me, it seemed like it was just a bad mark on your permanent record. You remember your permanent record, right? Yeah, me neither. Or what about January, when there was a threat of World War III? You know, we forgot about that faster than if Will Smith sprayed us with that memory gun. Or what about Men in Black International? Can somebody please tell me about the plot? Because I do not remember that movie at all. Speaking of international, as we're trying to finish mourning the tragedy of Kobe Bryant, we get hit with an international disease. Damn, I don't even want to say the name. Certain social media sites may block your videos or delete them if you talk about it. You know, this disease is actually turning into Lord Voldemort. Only the normies gonna get that joke. Man, they put so much in your face, they try to make you forget. But what? I don't know. Because we was on house arrest from this Lord Voldemort disease for so long. As we're getting stuck in our houses, it seems a lot of melanated folks were getting killed by law enforcement, which led to the protests, burning buildings, riots, you know, the mayhem, and a whole bunch of wokeness on IG. All over the world, people are starting to sing the same tune. BLM, BLM, BLM. That's great. Everybody on the same tune, on the same accord, trying to fight injustices that was happening for years. You know, but for me, BLM kind of seems like Be Loud Millennial. There's a lot of young voices being heard now, which is good. But make sure that we're talking about the right things and getting the right things corrected. Those black boxes on IG really did it for me. You know, the celebrities got a call from the higher-ups to finally acknowledge police brutality, black oppression. Yeah. Black oppression is lit now. Police brutality, yeah, that shit is lit. You know, but when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, you disagree. And I didn't see a black dot then. This is not a trend. And me personally, I'm getting a trend vibe from this. And this is something that's so deep rooted. It's really rooted in some shit. And America is finally smelling that. You know, I do see a lot of good coming from it because laws are being passed. You know, people are actually acknowledging a 400-year-old conversation. This is good. And I definitely want to laugh at those politicians. You know, the ones with the African garb, you know, looking like white Conda. But it's America. It's already white Conda. What you doing? They act like they care. They put on a little chuck and jive dance for us. And you know, I'm actually seeing white people dance like I've never seen them before. You know, so I guess enjoy the show for a little bit. But if anybody want to talk about bills getting changed and new laws and new things to be implemented, let's talk about reparations. You know, I'm a black man in America. I'm scared for my life. I got PTSD. That's just from Instagram. I can walk outside with a hoodie, mind my business, getting choked out just because I crossed the street, not looking both ways. I don't know if you realized, but I went down the timeline of the election year. And a lot of people say there's a lot of craziness that goes on during the election year. And this one takes the cake. Because in the midst of all this craziness, we got some astronauts that went to space and gonna go to Mars or something like that. So if this was a novel and somebody was writing the story of this book, you know what's coming next, right? I'm just saying. I think I've seen this before. And the two options that we have is screw loose and asshole, or asshole and screw loose. Because both of them have bad memories, and both of them seem to be assholes. So I'm in a toss up. But I do know one thing. If they're not talking reparations, it's a dub. I'm voting for somebody else. Hopefully that person talks about reparations, because that conversation is real. Everybody else got their form of reparations, but why not descendants of slaves? Please tell me why. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed another segment of Dick Thoughts. I just took you in the world where my mind is at this crazy, crazy time. You know, hopefully I touched on some points that you were thinking about. Because yes, I am confused as much as you are. You know, I actually wanted to get some Hillary Clinton too, but I'll say that for another day. That being said, always walk around with that do-rag energy. Keep your mind clear. Study history. Don't get baited, because you're not a fish. Don't get fried. Use your mind. I was trying to rhyme, but that's it. But I'm out. Dick Johnson, back here once again. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.
Wow, Dick, you always keep me intrigued on what you're talking about. Every week is something different. And I see you've been hitting them streets for the protests. Keep that do-rag energy, bro. The Senate announced that General Charles Q. Brown is the new Air Force Chief of Staff. Brown will be the first African-American leader of a military service. And of course, that's great news at a time like this when it seems like black people's voices are being heard around the world through peaceful protests. It's great to see that things are changing right in front of our faces. All 98 people who voted to approve the general's new rank unanimously voted in favor of Brown. Is this the beginning of a change of the guard, where we start to see more black people in high-ranking positions? Well, I'm all for it. I want to see more black attorney generals, more black police commissioners, more high-ranking black judges, more black people in Congress, pretty much black people everywhere. Let's keep pushing forward and making it happen, because as we can see, we're living in the change. Pastor Wesley West from Baltimore was charged with assaulting and robbing Fox 45 journalists during recent protests outside City Hall. Wesley is 32 and is a pastor at the Faith Empowered Ministries in West Baltimore. He's being charged with 5 counts, including robbery, second-degree assault, and theft under $25,000 for an incident involving the TV journalist. According to a police report, he says the charges are trumped-up allegations against me are just an example of a culture that exploits and dehumanizes people of color like myself. He also said, I am a firm believer that when the hate don't work, they begin to tell lies. They start telling lies on me and the people that look like me. End quote. Now, I'm not going to front. It would be lit to have a pastor on the front lines of the protests. And that's how you know he's giving it up as a pastor. He's about it. He'd be in the Lord's house Sunday, and after the service, he's on the front lines whooping somebody's ass in a protest. That's like a movie right there. But nevertheless, Keep that do-rag energy, Pastor. You got our support. Some health officials claim that there will be a spike in the amount of COVID-19 patients, but most states are starting to open up. I want to know, are these positive cases that they're talking about valid? I see a bunch of people outside protesting daily, and it seems like people forgot about the coronavirus. I mean, because that was just so last week, right? We on police brutality and racism now as the trending story. But on a serious note, Texas, for instance, has reported 2 straight days of record-breaking coronavirus hospitalization. Highs that come shortly after the state just opened up. I can tell if New York has experienced any spike with COVID because I guess we'll find out in a few days when we just start seeing everybody at the protest just coughing and trouble breathing excessively, right? Then maybe I'll believe the spike. But until then, fuck out of here. And now we're going to check in with young Specs with unwavy moments of the week. Specs, what up though?
What's up, everyone? It's your host, Young Specs. Welcome to another episode of Unwavy Moments of the Week. Let's get into the first video.
Dallas police. I'm on the sidewalk. Hey, shut the fuck up. What's the goal out here for Dallas police tonight? Peaceful protest, and you think barking stupid fucking orders at people is going to keep things peaceful or no? I mean, I'm not going to do anything but record you being a dumbass, but... So, do you think shooting gas grenades into a peaceful crowd is going to keep things peaceful? What do you think? What do you think? What's your name, buddy? I'll do what I want, you do what you want. How about that?
Likewise. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't make it worse.
Shh.
Why make it worse?
Shh. I'll do what I want, you do what you want.
You want to make it
If you want to lick his boots, go lick him. You want to suck his dick, go suck it. I don't give a fuck what you do.
That's not what
I don't give a fuck what you
I
do.
want to de-escalate.
Okay, then de-escalate on his dick.
No, you do that. You can do that. You're the one talking about that. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole.
You better keep 6 feet, motherfucker.
Why?
Because they're going to keep the peace.
While you try to destroy it?
Man, that shit could just end someone's whole career, saying back 6 feet away from you, you know? It's just funny, because, like, that's a law now, you know? But, like, I'm the type of person to always, like, I like my social distancing from people, but, like, knowing that that's pretty much, like, a law now, and if people get too close, you could just say that, and that's just like a get-out-of-jail-free card. That's a get-out-of-jail-free card for getting your ass kicked. That's a get-out-of-jail-free card from, like, getting arrested, even though that shit ain't true. People don't give a fuck about that. Cops don't give a fuck about that. You know, that's why people dying out here. But anyway, it's funny, that dude came in at the end, like, saying to de-escalate the situation. He was slowly starting to escalate it when he was getting closer, more than 6 feet closer to that dude. So, in a way, the dude behind the camera, he was the one de-escalating the situation because he wanted to keep the social distancing. So, that shit was funny, man. Oh my god. Alright, next video.
I'm trying. I can't breathe. Shut up, asshole. I can't. You fucking stupid. Shut up. I can't. That shit don't work here.
Man, in a situation like that, I feel like the cops really gotta learn to back the fuck up. Because even if that dude was lying about not being able to breathe, that shit should scare the fuck out of the cops. That line right there is a one-liner to get the cops to back 6 feet away. Because shit don't end well when motherfuckers can't breathe, alright? And obviously people, if they're getting arrested like that, if they're on the ground with freaking 20 cops around them, then they're gonna get scared, alright? And like, regardless if they can breathe or can't breathe, no, that many people should be on top of one person getting handcuffed. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why that's still a part of the police system, is to have, if somebody gets arrested, somebody is on the ground with their handcuffs behind them, and there's the fucking 5 cops gotta like stand over them, and one cop has to like put their fucking knee on their back or their neck or some shit. You know, it doesn't make any sense. They're fucking dogpiling a man, like an innocent man. They're dogpiling that dude. It doesn't make any sense, you know. And I feel like that's a part of the shit that has to change nowadays. Is that there has to be a change of the police system, and that we've been talking about that for a while, but honestly, it's getting worse and worse. Like, you know, like how many Eric Garners and George Floyd's are gonna be, like, haven't died. You know, like people like that, they could get severely injured or they could just get scared to death. You know, and like, yeah, some of them could die too, but regardless, it's not a good situation for any human being to be in. You know. Anyway, this was another episode of Unwavy Moments of the Week. Back to you.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Daddy Love out here once again. You know, when they call, I'm a journalist and I have to do my job. So yes, I am in CI, Strong Island, if you already know. And we had another protest, talking to the people and getting their point of views across. And what are you really representing? And what do you really want to get changed in this new time that we're seeing? Let's get into it.
Hey man, enough is enough. You know, if we don't do it, listen, I refuse to leave this earth and leave my kids with the same bullshit that we've been dealing with. And that's that simple. If we in the same predicament a generation or two from now, it's gonna be our fault. We ain't got nobody to blame but us.
What brings me out today? Each and every one of these beautiful faces that are out here today demanding that change be enforced immediately. And we're standing up for the violence that has caused the lives of so many black young men and women. That's why I'm here today, to support them.
I actually had the pleasure to run in one of our homies, Manny, who actually did some skits with us back in the day, not too long ago. But how you doing, Manny?
I'm doing good, man. We're doing God's work right now.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what exactly brings you out here today?
I'm just really pissed off with the school system. I feel like they didn't do enough to teach us. If they taught us something, then this wouldn't be happening. I don't want to be here right now, but you gave me no choice. Like, I'm putting myself at risk of COVID-19. Everybody is. And we're all trying to do God's work right now. Equality for everybody.
I love that. I love how you said schools you didn't teach us. You know, luckily for me, I had a dad who kind of put me on to a lot of the culture that I come from. Yeah. So I've been blessed and fortunate enough to have somebody like that. But I know a lot of people who look at like me didn't have many stories like that. Yeah. You know, I was thinking about I remember when I was in maybe 6th or 7th grade, I got in trouble for bringing a Black history book to school and teaching some of my friends the stuff that I know. And I got scolded for it. So I definitely can agree with that because I had to bring some other information to my friends. In middle school, I'm trying to teach stuff that they're not teaching in school. So I definitely piggyback off of that.
Representing for justice for my guy, George Floyd, man. That was crazy. And if we don't stand up as the people and let America know that it's time for change, then I don't know what else to do. So I'm out here fighting for the cause.
I'm with that. I love that there's a lot of young people because I know a lot of people say our generation is kind of soft. We don't really stand for nothing. And we're proving all that wrong. We're proving all that wrong because we're definitely in the midst of a new. They already brought a whole bunch of newness on us. The world is no longer looking like what we once knew.
Correct.
But I love that we're coming into it this way.
Correct. I love it too. I love it too, bro. And it's a lot of young people out here today with us. And we all marching in a peaceful protest. And we out here. Justice for George Floyd, baby. Let's go.
Mike, what actually brings you out here today?
Man, this inequality is crazy, bro. Honestly, people is out here just trying to fight for equality, bro. Like, we just want things to be right. It's crazy. It's just crazy. I'm at a loss for words, man, but the energy that's hitting these streets is incredible. And, you know, I just had to be part of it, bro. There's a lot of injustice happening out here. They creating systems that keep us down, bro. At the end of the day, it takes way more time and way more money to defend the law as a lawyer than it does to become a police officer. It take you 6 months to become a police officer. They give you a weapon? You don't even understand the law. Come on.
Wonderful. I love how you broke that down.
Change out here. This is ridiculous. And we bringing people together. It's all about positivity and it's all about equality.
And that's a rapidy rap for this week's Durag News. I'm your host, Rich Freeman. I'm honored and pleasured to be able to give you the news every week. You know, as we say with Durag News, it's entertainment and informative at the same time. So if you want the scoop with some laughs, you know where to find us. It's Durag News. See you next week. And as we always say, keep that Durag energy.